Hey everybody, this is Brent Wagamott, and do not adjust your set right now. I actually am the host of this edition of Reality TV Wrap-Ups. We are doing the amazing contest that Rob thought of. Daddy has decided to expand the family. We're going to get a new brother and sister. I know it's crazy, but it's happening. It's the So You Think You Can podcast contest, and we have two awesome people who are joining me tonight, both people who love Big Brother and Big Brother Over the Top just as much as I do. First, it is a woman, ladies and gentlemen, who is not only a PhD student, but she actually did some research into whether or not Monty was actually truthful when he said his farts caused other people to develop seizures. It's Liana Boris. How you doing, Liana?
I am doing great. I am beyond stoked to be here. Brent's team's the best team. We're going to kick things off right. And yes, I did do a little bit of research, so I can talk about that now.
No, please, please. Girl, hold the gold for later in the podcast, please.
Got it.
Right. All right. And second is a man who, if you hear this man's voice, you know, Big Meech famously said that Alex, Taryn, and I don't have the voice for reality podcasts. I think she would say that this man has the voice for lovemaking podcasts. It's Dustin West. Dustin, how you doing?
Well, I didn't expect that introduction. That's pretty great. All right. Yeah. No, I was going to come on here and say that, you know, I do have the voice for podcasting. I never would have said I had the lovemaking voice for podcasting. I was going to make a joke about Taryn right off the bat, but now it seems inappropriate.
Oh, right. Well, I always appreciate jokes about Taryn, but we'll pass for the moment. Yeah. And actually, I misspoke. We have three people. I wanted to make sure all but three of us were here. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but he's here. Cam Perry, Cam's to the hamster. Cam, how you doing, and can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry about the technical difficulties, and I got here a little late. So.
No problem. I'm glad to see that everyone's here. So, again, remember that Rob is doing a podcast to make sure a contest. Actually, Rob has a contest. I can't believe it. Rob has everything to add somebody to the LFC. We're looking for people who know about Big Brother, who like to podcast about Big Brother, and we can add to our little family dynamic. So we're just going to go broad strokes at the beginning and find out a little bit more about you guys, and then we're going to talk more in depth about what's going on in the BBOTT house. Dustin, so what got you into Big Brother, and what's your favorite season? Just give me a little bit of Dustin-flavored Big Brother talk.
Sure, absolutely. So I started watching Big Brother on season 1 when I was at 2000? So I was in high school, and I watched through that, and of course that one's much different from the others.
Right.
But at the end of it, I started watching the Real World on MTV, and I was asking my brother, I was like, "What? They get to leave the house? They don't get voted out every week? What is this?" So yeah, I've been watching since season 1. There were some dark periods there where, you know, I did not watch, but I've been trying my best to play catch up. And started back with season 15 and onward, and then but have rewatched some stuff before that. And of course, I'm a big Survivor fan, and you know, other reality shows as well. But
good deal. Yeah, season 15, great season to watch. And by the way, since you guys are on Team Brent, you can interrupt people at any time. If a thought comes to your head and you want to say something, just to like try to work it in there. If you hear like somebody take a breath, don't wait for it. Just go in and grab it. So Cam, they call you Cam's to the hamster. You know everything about Big Brother. I want to know if this is true and how you fell in love with it.
Yeah, so I've been watching Big Brother since season 1. My sister got me into the show. You know, at first I didn't know what it was because, like I said, Big Brother season 1 was so different from how Big Brother is now. Was, you know, Big Brother 1 was kind of like how Big Brother Over the Top is now, which is a popularity contest. And most people don't know that there was an instance where one of the house guests, they were trying to switch them out of the house because they were boring to watch on TV. And,
I remember that.
Yeah.
I wish we could do that to Taryn. Can we vote him out because he's so boring?
I know he's robots somehow have immunity from being voted off, so I don't think there's a way I could do that. Liana, tell us about yourself too. How did you get involved with Big Brother? I mean, you know, reality TV from my perspective is a male-dominated world. So like I love hearing the female voice and what you guys think about strategy and the whole voting people off and conniving and plotting and backstabbing. Tell me about yourself.
Okay, so absolutely. I didn't start watching Big Brother at season 1. my mother was a hippie completely, didn't believe in TV, but probably thought that burnt sage could like, cure acne. I don't know. So anyway, I started watching Big Brother in college, season 11. And from the moment I watched, I immediately became obsessed. Big Brother has everything that I love and want in a show. It has the strategic gameplay. I love people backstabbing each other, forming alliances, breaking alliances. It has the social element to it. It does rely on relationships. In order to make those strategic moves, you need relationships. And also, it doesn't take itself too seriously. I mean, this is the show that does the train sound whenever Becky, who got hit by a train, is on the screen.
I always tell people who get mad on me on Twitter, I'm like, people, it's a TV show. It's for entertainment. Like Karen and Alex forever talk about the strategy. I'm like, there would be no show if we weren't entertained by the people who are on our television. So anyways, I want to find out a little bit about you guys. Cam, it said in your audition video that you are a music maker and you're always wearing Beat headphones. So tell me about that and why you love that so much.
Yeah, so originally, like, I was rapping. I was, into rap music, but I was a terrible rapper in high school. Right. And I decided, okay, instead of being awful at rapping, I'm going to make beats. And so I started making beats, in high school. I wasn't that good at it. Man, in college, that's how I made my hustle. Like, I was like selling beats $25 a pop.
Good deal.
And that was my way to, pretty much, woo the ladies, because I'm not really the ladies' man, but
Yes, baby. Yes. So good deal. I want to find out a little bit more about you guys too. So Dustin, this theme park thing, I told you earlier before we started the podcast, my family and I are going to take a trip to a Disney theme park later next year in May. And it's the first time I've been back to Disney for 16 years. So what should I visit first and why?
Okay, so are you going to Disneyland in California?
No, I'm going to Disney World in Florida.
Booyah. That's where I'm from. I just moved back here from Florida. Like you had said, I've been on a Disney podcast for the last 3 years or so. And if you're going to Disney World, you gotta hit some of the big stuff. But they've just, in the last year or two, they've changed up some ways that you can strategize your trip versus, you said 15 years ago when you went?
Right.
Yeah. When you went 15 years ago, you waited in line. Now you can like plan all your rides and stuff.
Yes. It's like Big Brother. We can plot and scheme.
Yes, you can plot and scheme. You can vote your family members out of the attraction. It's wonderful. No, but you've got to do that kind of thing. So you really do have to be strategic. Use your fast passes wisely on the big rides.
Okay, we'll do. And Liana, so let's talk about this girl. So Monty famously said that he farted so much and so terribly that he caused someone to have a seizure. You're a PhD student. You did research into this. Is this possible? Could this really happen?
Okay, yes, I have breaking news. This could absolutely happen.
Breaking news are happening now.
Very important. I just couldn't believe it when he said that, so I had to do some digging. And
Of course.
Oh, good.
I'm a scientist. I'm a biomedical engineer. I got to dig into this. So what I did
sorry, I thought it was your thesis. I'm glad that this was.
Oh my gosh. It's a whole chapter in my thesis. It's fascinating. I did mouse studies. I'm all up in this business. Okay, so here's what I did. I did some research, did some reading, and I found a paper out of Duke University where these researchers found that scents can possibly trigger seizures. So think about like flashing lights, right? And that's a way to trigger seizures.
Right.
Similarly, gross smells might be able to trigger seizures. So Monty might not have been that far off.
I really thought he was making it up when he was talking on the show, but apparently he might have had a morsel of truth to what he said.
Maybe.
Might have had a morsel of truth.
May have had one. Okay, so let's get into BBOTT because I know that's why you guys are here. That's why you guys want to talk about this, and that's frankly why we want to hear from you. So, broad strokes, what do you think about the show, Cam? Are you liking BBOTT? Do you like America's impact on it, and why?
Yeah, I absolutely love Big Brother OTT.
Me too, bitch. Tell it.
Yeah, I didn't think I would actually like it. Like I remember you weren't sure if you're gonna like Big Brother Over the Top, when it first came out. But this is the best cast they've had in like 5 years, in my opinion. Like, we have so many different characters. We have Justin, who I've been waiting for Big Brother to cast an African American like him. Like, Big Brother usually casts like these church going guys that are on the show. I mean, we don't really see that much variety. Like, I can't relate to those people. I like Justin's because he's so outside the box. He's so crazy. He's so spontaneous, and he's kind of like me. You know, I really don't think what I say. I just kind of just do what I think.
Right. So what do you think about America voting? Do you think, like, fans have famously been polarized? Do you think that it's getting better as the season has gone on? Because I feel like it's gotten a little bit better in the last few weeks.
I think it's gotten a lot better. I was afraid, you know, earlier when, you know, the plastics were winning everything, that they were going to steamroll, you know, the Misfits side of the house, or the Ball Smashers now. But you know, America is kind of keeping everything even. They're not, you know, picking one side over the other, which I like, because I feel like if this was like Big Brother 6 with the Friendship Alliance, and then, you know, or the Nerd Herd, and then, you know, the Sovereign 6, I feel like Janelle and Howie and Case's group would have just steamrolled through that, because they hated the Friendship Alliance.
That's true. By the way, and look, like I said, you guys are on Team Brent, so you don't have to wait for me to call on you. If you guys, Dustin, BBOTT, love it, hate it, why?
Well, the America vote is the great equalizer in this game. There's no doubt about that, as we've seen it ebb and flow through each week. My only problem with BBOT2, and I do like it, my only problem with it is the format, in terms of how it's being released. I want to see... I like the episodes. They help me stay informed. I like seeing more of the DRs more often instead of just the live DRs. I like seeing how they're portraying things on a week-to-week basis. But other than that, we're getting all the cool stuff that we didn't get with a regular BB season.
Yeah. I disagree. No, with the weekly episodes, I actually think that they are not well put together. They don't tell the story in, I think, the correct way. And I think the episode this past week was a good example of them omitting certain things that really should have been to tell the story that week, like in that episode.
But all the weekly recaps are just the daily recaps, but just pieced together. Like if you watch each of them, you're like, they're not like, they're thinking of different things. Like that's why I think that production probably needs to do a better job of having like reward people that are watching the daily recaps, not watch the same thing when they're watching the weekly show. Because if you watch the daily recaps, you don't really need to watch the weekly show that happens every Wednesday.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. Well, I think, I think that is also a reason why we're seeing an episode that doesn't flow well, because they are just essentially these piecemealed together where they tell a story for the day, but that doesn't tell a whole story when you string 7 of them together.
Right. Now, Dustin, you're saying that you it sounds like to me like you agree with Liana more than you disagree with her. Like, you want better quality of what they're trying to give us, correct?
I still think that BB Propa is a better version of the show, and that has nothing to do with the gameplay. That has everything to do with the actual production.
I actually disagree with you. I think this version of Big Brother is way better than Big Brother 18. I'm not sure about you, but I hated the showmances. Like, I hate it. Like, there was, like,
well, again, I'm not getting into the characters, the strategy, any of that stuff. I'm talking. I'm a video producer. I'm a editing guy. These are the things that I'm looking at as I'm talking.
So it's
about
a packaging problem from you. Yes. Is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've always had a problem with BBOTT from a packaging perspective, but only from the standpoint that it seems like it's harder to find what they want to show you. It's not packaged well from a site. There's not clear signage telling you, go here for this, go here for this. And, as we've discussed previously, the weekly shows are just the daily shows that have been pieced together for the most part. And I don't even like the fact, like, when they let in the house guests in a little bit on the editing, like when they edited that pizza song and put the music underneath it and then showed it to the house guests. I mean, Cam, I don't know about you, but I really thought that was throwing your boy Justin under the bus.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. Like it was a huge target on his back. Like, like people know that he's popular. That's why I think Justin is in big danger this week, because Justin and Jason, really, because Shelby. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about spoilers.
No, there's no spoilers in BBOTT.
Okay. Yes. So Shelby won HOH, right?
Yes, she did.
Everybody knows.
By the way, wait. Let's stop right there before you go any further. If you have not watched Shelby absolutely slay and boss this competition, y'all gotta go. It happened at about 11:35 last night.
I mean, it wasn't even close.
I mean, it was actually, that's Eastern time, 11:35 Eastern time. It wasn't even close. It was the face morph competition. Other people like Alex, who are supposedly smart, had 27 minutes on the clock. Shelby did it in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So,
well, and the thing about this face morph comp is that it wasn't the comp that we've seen before, where the pictures come up sequentially, where you have to get the picture right in order to move on to the next one. All of the pictures were out in front of her, and she correctly identified the two people in every single photo in like 3 minutes and 40 seconds. It was brilliant.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, she looked a lot like Janelle from Big Brother All Stars when she completed like in 2 minutes the face morph competition.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, in the RHAP chat room on CBS.com, watching the live feeds, it was exactly like it was if it was Janelle. Like we were all like, "Oh my God, she's gonna do it!" Like when she ran over there to get the Monty placard, I was falling out of my chair. And okay, so Shelby is the current head of household. We know that she's not a big fan of Jason and Justin. Cam, are you worried about well, let me put it this way. Who are you worried about more?
I'm worried more about Justin because Jason, I think, is going to win the care package this week. I think he's going to be the co-HOH, and that puts a big target on Justin because, you know, who is I know he's not going to protect. He's going to protect him, but if, you know, for instance, one of those people wins the veto, Justin, you know, may go up. So I think that he's in a bad spot. So I'm not sure if he's going to last this week because I would target Justin if I was one of the house guests because I know he's real popular. You know, he's probably the most popular person not named Jason in the house. And why would you take him to the final three?
Yeah, I agree with that. Here's the thing. Liana, we were talking about this going into the show. Mm-hmm. We are unclear on exactly what's going on with this care package, though, and it makes a big difference. So remember that America's care package this week is that there's a co-HOH. I will just tell you guys that judging from Twitter and Joker's updates, Whitney and Jason appear to be the two people who each side is voting for. I'm certain that one of them will become the co-HOH. But what we don't know and what Big Brother, at least as far as I can tell, has not answered is it like the care package says where each HOH gets to nominate a house guest, or is it like it is currently where it's a safety ceremony and each of the HOHs is going to get to save two other people? Because if that's true, then that's going to make a big difference in who the nominees are and tell everybody why.
Yeah, exactly. So if the HOHs can actually just nominate somebody directly, I mean, Jason most likely might put up Alex and Shelby might put up Justin. But if you have the ability to save people, then Jason and Justin might get saved. Or Justin might get saved by Jason. Shelby will most likely save Alex, and we could end up with Danny and Whitney possibly on the block.
But
because go ahead, Kim.
I was about to say, I think if that scenario, which is they get to pick two people that are safe, I think it vastly hurts the ball smashers because they're already, you know, the table's already turning their, you know, outside of their favor with Whitney flipping, and she's pretty much playing a floater game right now where she's pretty much gravitating towards whoever has the power.
Well, I feel like I agree with that to a certain extent about Whitney, but I feel like it really hinders the people who are floating in the middle because let's just say for instance that Jason gets the care package and Shelby is the current head of household. So Shelby can save two people. I can tell you she's going to save Alex and Morgan because she doesn't trust Whitney at this point, okay? And Jason would save Justin and Chrissy. That leaves Danny and Whitney as the nominees, the two people who are probably in the middle. And I think it would be interesting if they did the safety ceremony that way, like they have been doing it, because it would tell both Danny and Whitney, girls, you're in danger. You're at the bottom of your alliance. Neither side really cares about you all that much. Dustin, what do you think about that?
It definitely forces their hand in terms of displaying where those alliances lie.
Yes.
But at the same time, this is nuts. We've only got 8 people left in the house, and we're talking about a thing where like 6 people are safe. You know, by the end of this, and you know that doesn't really affect the America's nomination, but this is nuts. I don't think we've seen anything quite like this.
Well, since they haven't announced it, and I feel like they've been doing safety ceremonies all along, I feel like that's what they're going to continue to do. And I feel like no matter what, if Whitney or if Jason wins the care package, I mean, look, push comes to shove, Shelby's going to save Alex and Morgan. So at this point, it's only about who is safe on the other side of the house. Like, are the floaters like Whitney and Danny in danger? Frankly, I feel like no matter who gets co-HOH, I feel like Danny's in danger. And that would be a devastating blow to me because of the people on the Misfit side. I really like what Danny's been doing. Liana, tell me I'm wrong.
So I just want to point out first that Whitney and Jason are the two that are in the top contention for the care package. But it seems for most polls that I'm looking at, Big Brother Daily Jokers, it seems that Jason is pulling away with the care package, possibly by 3 or 4%. I haven't looked at Taryn's poll. I know a lot of people have, but I don't want anything to do with that. So
right now it's the same as your results that you're talking about. It's about 3%.
Great. Okay, that sounds good. But yeah, so I don't want Danny to go on the block either. I actually have a comment about Danny's game. Just to change
let's
subject
talk about it.
quickly. So there seems to be some disconnect between how certain people view Danny's game. Some people really like it, some people really hate it. And I think that it's because if you look at Danny's gameplay in isolation, like 1 week at a time, it looks like she plays a really good game. So if you look at her first week, for example, she's on the block next to Chrissy and Cornbread. She ends up saving herself and her alliance member and sends out someone on the other side of the house. That looks really good if you just look at that 1 week, but it ended up having ramifications later on where she was nominated. I mean, part of that was because she was coupled with Shane, but she ended up being nominated later on. And then again, you look at this past week, she ends up taking down Whitney, which possibly flips Whitney over to her side. And if you look at just that 1 week, well, it looks like she flipped the numbers. They went down 4-5 and now they're up 5-3 going into that next week. So again, it looks really good. Okay, but I will say that then these coming weeks, Danny's probably on the outs. If Whitney does flip, I think she ends up supplanting Danny in her own alliance, and Danny doesn't get the benefit of having a strong alliance with, say, Scott and Alex, which she could have had moving forward.
I agree with you on that. I really am growing with Danielle because, like I said, when she was with Shane, she was unbearable to watch, and I feel like she was acting negative like Shane was and not talking to nobody, not having any type of social game whatsoever. But then she made this move last week that she, flipped, Whitney, and now Whitney, but it really didn't help Danielle at all, though. Like you said, Scott, she should have saved Scott because Scott is not going to win the game. Scott, we love Scott. At least I love Scott, but
we love Scott.
But see,
King. Come on.
But that's an argument then that he might end up winning. I don't think that the house guests know that because they see him on the outs. But if he did make it to the end, he does have that kind of underdog story that he may end up winning. But that's a
okay.
Let me
Dustin,
ask you this.
Go ahead. If you have a point, go ahead.
We're talking about Danielle here being in big trouble, but how come the only names that I hear coming out of anybody's mouth is Justin and Jason?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand that this seems to be like a mathematical thing. This doesn't seem to be a in-the-house personality thing. Yeah, she's got heat coming on her after her last HOH, but I feel like Justin's safe no matter what, because if Whitney is the co-HOH, I feel like if she has to pick two people, Shelby's going to take care of her side. So if Whitney gets to pick two people, she's going to save Justin as one of those two people. And if Jason is the co-HOH, he's surely going to save Justin. So I can't ever believe that Justin's in trouble this week. I just feel like because of the mechanism of the ceremony that he's going to be safe because of that. If Shelby was allowed to nominate two people outright or one person outright, she may very well pick Justin, but I don't think she's going to be able to have that chance. That makes more sense. Thank you for answering that question for my simple brain.
It's okay. Well, I wanted to ask you this question. So Liana said that Danny, she doesn't think that it's necessarily a great game because she's been playing week to week, not necessarily a long-term game. But given that America has such a big hold on the game, and given that we are flighty and picky in terms of what we want to have happen, and the house guests can't really predict it very well, isn't there an argument to be made that Danielle is playing a good game by playing it week to week?
So
I want to hear from Dustin.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
I absolutely agree with you because you can look at it on paper, and I think Liana spelled it out pretty perfectly. You look at it on paper, and she's gotten out of hard times. She's won HOH. And the only real trouble she was really in was with that America's nomination. And then, Shane went home, but it really is a solid game on paper. But then you're going to have people, going at her personality wise. And like Cam said, the first couple weeks there were not particularly entertaining to watch. But I will agree. I do think that she is playing a good game.
Okay. So what I wanted to say is that I don't necessarily, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about her gameplay, but
Fancy Fencerton, don't be fancy.
Oh no! Oh, if I make fun of Taryn, I'm like Taryn. I don't know. I can't win. But I wanted to say that it seems that I think that this is an explanation. Her long-term versus short-term gameplay. It's an explanation for why there's such a disconnect between what people think. That there are people that absolutely hate her gameplay and people that absolutely love her gameplay. That was my point.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm done.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Cam.
Sorry. I think that she's playing a better game than she played before, but that's not saying much because she really didn't play, a good game to begin with. But
Damien with faint praise there, Cam. Yeah.
But she really don't see any way that she can make it to the end. Like if you think about this, I mean, Whitney, is probably going to replace her in her own alliance, and once Chrissy is gone, where's Danny going to go? She's not going to. The ball smasher's not going to take Danielle. And Justin and Jason are together as a group. And Jason's probably going to wait till Final 4 or Final 5 before he cuts Justin. So,
you're talking about the ball smashers not taking her in at some point. I mean, when I watched the feeds, the negativity. I mean, it's such a divide in the house, but the negativity is toward Justin. It is toward Chrissy. I never really heard about Danny. It's just she's lumped in with them.
Right. The only thing negative I heard about Danny was Alex on the feeds earlier today telling America to not buy the fact that Danielle is acting all nice because evidently, from Alex's point of view, she thinks that Danielle is toning it down because she wants to get a care package from America. Cam, I got a question about your boy, Justin. In fact, my boy, because I love Justin. I want to see him at the end. If he's the winner of Big Brother, it'd be hilarious. He was eating as a have-not. What is this I hear about him eating?
Yeah, he snuck eight pieces of candy, and and I don't know why he's doing that. I mean, I knew he'd probably do that because last week they were talking about how he was gaining weight and how he's packing some pounds, and I was like, Justin, you probably do need to be a have-not because he was the only one that was like not a have-not, one of the only people that not a have-not at the time, and he was celebrating, and he put a big target on his back. Like, people know Justin is popular. And he's kind of just oblivious to what everyone else sees. Like he's a fun character. I love Justin. He's my favorite character this season. But he probably needs to tone it down and just be smarter and not tell everything that he knows to the other side of the house.
Well, and the ball smashers are starting to resent this. They're looking at he's so popular, and yet And this is both figurative and literal. He has not read the BB rule book. And he has
Explain that, Dustin. Explain that for people who didn't watch the HOH competition last night.
Right. Again, there is an actual BB handbook. There's rule books for the competitions, for the game in general. And Justin is just oblivious to this whole thing. He just wants to dance and have a good time. And he signed up
instincts.
Yeah.
Right. Well, just to be clear about what happened, HOH competition last night, remember, it's a face morph competition. Liana, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So
tell them what happened.
Okay. So what happened was Justin didn't quite understand the rules of the competition. He didn't realize that you needed to put 2 names for each picture. So he only put 1 name down for everyone and was confused why he wasn't getting it.
Right. It's so funny because he read the rules out loud, and it clearly said, each of these characters from high school is a morph of 2 of the people who are in the Big Brother OTT house. He said that out loud, and then I was falling out of my chair when he walked over to all 7 pictures, put 1 name placard up on each one, and went back and hit the buzzer and wondered why it was wrong.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, I know. All right, so I think it's fair to say that Dustin isn't necessarily taking the competitions as seriously as he could. I almost tweeted something out, and then I deleted it, but I'll say it on the podcast so it's not misunderstood. I do feel like in some ways that I love Justin, but he's a bit of a joke of a player in terms of the seriousness of the game, although I do think his social game in some respects is on point. Cam, defend Justin.
Yeah, the thing is, Justin knows that he can win this game of just popularity. This is not Big Brother proper. This is not a Big Brother season where he has to rely on being good at the game or having a good social game or just being good at comps. Like, he literally can skate by to the end because of his popularity. I think that they may have 1, maybe 2 shots to get him out, but I don't think that it's going to happen. I think Justin's going to be at the end because there's bigger fish to fry. Like, Justin is likable. He doesn't really have any enemies in the house besides Shelby. I mean,
right. Liana?
Well, and I could absolutely see if Justin wins that care package to compete in that competition to move on to the Final 4, and Big Brother makes it the easiest competition in the world, he somehow manages to blow it. I mean, unless this is like Creole cooking, making gumbo, he's not going to get it.
Well, it's only, and we're not throwing shade on Justin. It's just he's not taking seriously the things that he needs to take seriously. He doesn't know, like, remember who was HOH during week 3, what their nominees were. I mean, these are basic things that if you're in the Big Brother house, Dustin, you have to make sure that you know these things because you know they're going to come up at some competition down the line.
He's the Fabio of Big Brother.
Well, I think
except not good.
Underselling Fabio a bit. Like,
not
at least Fabio knew how to take the competition seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, Justin. I mean, Justin does need to step up. Like I said this last night. I'm like, Justin, like, what are you doing? Like, you need to show that why you're on Big Brother because people like Justin right now, but some people are getting turned off by him because he's not taking the competition seriously, like you said. And
but okay, so to Justin's credit though, his live DRs up until this one last Tuesday have been very generic, but the one this last Tuesday was actually really good. He started to dig into strategy. We started to see a little bit more of what he was thinking. So to a certain extent, I do think that he's picking up on the game and he's realizing what he needs to do to get to the end.
Okay, cool. Dustin, Shelby won HOH last night, like we said. Yeah. The house guests have been plotting and scheming. What's been going on in the house today?
It's really been a lot of separation. They've not been talking. In fact, I was just watching the feeds a little bit ago, and they were knocked out of the house, so they all had to stay out in the backyard. But once they came back in, they separated again, and they're talking about, well, we're not going to know anything until we get the care package. We're not going to know anything until America's nomination. So it's mostly been Shelby and Alex throwing some numbers around, throwing names around, mostly Justin and Jason. But it's really hard to lock down what's going to happen until we know what this co-HOH is going to be. But what is interesting is they have that option in their head. I think both Danielle and Alex have kind of figured out that seems to be what's coming next without any.
They figured out where it's headed. They most of the house guests have figured out that co-HOH is probably going to be one of the care packages that's coming down the line. I can't remember exactly where it happened during Big Brother 18. Was it week 5? So I'm not sure. It was week 4 or week 5. I know what week 5 was that stupid $5,000 bribe. So it was definitely it must have been week 4. But they know that it's one of the ones at the end. So I know that they're nervous about it. Alex is basically begging America not to give it to the other side. But because of the way the safety ceremony works, I think that she'll be safe no matter what. I think that they are really misunderstanding the way things are going to happen. I will say this really quickly. If Big Brother changes it up all of a sudden and allows both of the HOHs to directly nominate somebody, I'm going to be pissed. And I doubt that they would do that because that would put the 2 best players in the game currently, Alex and Justin, from each side. At least I think their social games are on point.
Right.
That would put them both in danger. So I can't imagine Big Brother's going to do that. I have to think that they're going to do the safety ceremony like they always do. That will make sure that Justin's safe. That'll make sure that Alex and Morgan are both safe. And I think that the producers would probably be totally fine getting out somebody like Whitney or Danny at this point, or maybe even Chrissy.
I think we all would.
Yeah. So I think this week actually veto will be the most important thing because whoever wins the veto is the HOH the one that gets to replace the nominee, or is it the co-HOH person if their nominee is I
assume that it's whoever's nominee is taken down gets to replace.
Right. So let's say Jason is the winner of the care package and he nominates, I think he would nominate, I guess he would nominate Whitney, and Shelby would probably nominate Danny by way of the safety ceremony. Those would be the 2 default nominees. So if he was able to take down somebody, I'm sure he would probably put up Alex or somebody, but it's ultimately going to, it's really weird with how many people are on the block. Is America's nominee taken down? How many votes are in play? And ultimately it could come down to something where both HOHs have to break a tie and they may not be able to agree on the tie. So I'm not sure what Big Brother's going to do with that.
I'm hoping for a fire making challenge. I think that would be great.
No,
I was Jeff Varner trivia challenge.
I was hoping that in Big Brother All Stars, when they said that if they couldn't agree that both of them, Janelle and Jace, would be on the block. I was hoping that happened because that would be interesting. I think that would have benefited Jace. And shoot, who knows what would have happened if Janelle would have been booted out that early.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so I also hear that they got a small table or a smaller table, Liana. Did you see this on the feeds?
Well, everybody loves to make it to the smaller table.
I know, right?
They made it past halfway, so that's something to celebrate. Okay, actually, one thing that I wanted to mention, because this is coming up in the chat a lot, is talk about the logistics of the America's votes and the structure of the game for the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, Brent, I think you mentioned this in the show last night, that this may be the last opportunity for us to nominate somebody. That's actually not
right.
true.
That's coming from. Oh, that's not true. Okay, good. I was just gonna say that's coming from Brent. So yeah, don't buy that. Yeah,
you just made it up. Okay, so
right.
here's the way the schedule is gonna work. This week is a normal week, so we're gonna have the care package voting, the nomination vote, and America's vote, and then someone will go home next Wednesday.
Okay.
That same night is the double eviction. So we're gonna end up having 2 people going home that next week. And America can vote for the care package, but only for 1 hour next Wednesday night. So they'll be voting from 9 to 10 p.m. Big Brother time for that double eviction veto.
It'll be like herding cats.
So are they going to crown the HOH and then we get to vote on the care package?
That's what I think is going to happen.
Oh my God. So we're going to be impacting the game in live time.
Right. So this is coming from the terms and conditions of the voting from the Big Brother website. There's no, and for that double eviction, there's no America's nomination or America's vote. So we just vote for the care package that week.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So then if you're with me so far.
There's more. There's more.
Oh,
wait,
more.
Wait, let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. So Dustin, I'm thrilled about this. I know you're not loving the America's impact on the game, but we're going to directly intervene in a double eviction after the HOH is crowned. Are you living for this, or could you do without?
Again, I never said anything about not liking America's
Okay,
vote.
all right.
And I absolutely, I absolutely love this idea. This is fantastic. We can send these guys. I feel like I'm in the mafia. We'll send them a message. This is fantastic. Do it live.
Yeah, I'm thrilled with this too, because I was always wondering, well, like, I mean, that's great that we have a care package for next week. Just so everybody knows, we get to send we actually get to send the veto to somebody. There's not even going to be a veto competition next for the double eviction. We actually get to send the veto to somebody. But I was always like, that's going to be really weird because we're not going to know who the HOH is. But Cam, it sounds like we're going to get to know who the HOH is before we have to send someone a veto.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, and since you said that scenario, I think Justin is definitely in danger next week. Like, because he has to win the HOH next week, or he may and probably will go home next week.
I also think that I just want to bring this guy. I tweeted this earlier, and I'm sure you guys saw this. If Jason is awarded the care package, I think he is in extreme danger going into the double eviction.
Yeah,
because, and Dustin, I know you know this, because if he wins the care package, he's the outgoing HOH. That means he can't compete in the new HOH competition, and he can't win the care package. Isn't that going to put him in a really terrible spot?
Puts him in a really terrible spot. Plus, again, if things go his way, he'll have that blood on his hands, and it is a very, very bad spot. And it's all playing out live too. So in the double eviction, especially, you don't have time to do anything. So Well,
yeah, and that vote, that's 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Big Brother time. That's late on the East Coast. So who's going to be voting?
Yeah, that's true.
But I think that. But the thing about Jason though, he needs his care package this week because of
Does
Whitney.
He though? Let me put something out to you, Cam, because I'm honestly been thinking about this. Like I said, So remember that they're going to do the safety ceremonies the way they've always done, and that's my take on things. So no matter if, like, let's say Whitney wins the care package instead of Jason, okay? Whitney is going to make Justin safe. I have to think she's probably going to make Jason safe too, don't you think? And she's going to let Danielle be the nominee from that side?
I don't know what Whitney's doing. Like, no one really knows where Whitney's true loyalty lies. Like, we really don't know. Like, she flipped last week, but we really don't know, like, if she watches so much Big Brother. I mean, she's watched multiple seasons, like 11 seasons of Big Brother. She knows that Jason's extremely popular. She may cut ties with Jason.
All right, so let's talk about Whitney. But before we do that, I just want to say we are going to take your questions. So if you do want to tweet your questions to us, make sure to use #RHAP. We will take your questions live, and we will ask. You can ask these people anything you want to know. You can ask them about their lives, about Big Brother. I certainly want to know about it. So Dustin Whitney, let's talk about her. I heard Alex on the feeds earlier today saying that it was a bummer that Scott went home because she trusted him more so than Whitney and her own sister. What's your take on that? I think that is startling.
And this is something that I can't believe either. That first of all, Whitney's been, for the most part in the game, loyal to her. We've had some discrepancies here in the past, but her own sister, that's nuts. Scott was great, and Scott was loyal, but that kind of flipped near the end when all of a sudden he had to go through his whole "I'm doing this for the better good of the people," thing. I know, right?
Yeah, great podcasting, right? Yeah, if you guys could see, I was sticking my finger down my throat. Yeah, I could. I love Scott. He's my virgin king, but no, girl, no.
Yeah.
I was not living for what he was serving there insofar as trying to fall on his sword to save his comrades when I know that they would not do that for him.
No.
Are you with me?
Mm-hmm. And see, the thing is, with Whitney, I feel like she would be incredibly loyal. She's got a strong head on her shoulders. And the more you say things like, I trust Scott, like 100%, and you don't say those things about Whitney, you don't have to say it for your sister because she gets it. But when you don't throw those kind of things out and talk to them that way, you're building trust for somebody else, but you're not building that trust with a person that you're really going to need moving down in these very critical votes when you're on paper, you're 4-4. You need her. And
yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Okay, this is where I have a bone to pick, Brent, with both you and Alex. You guys were talking on the show last night about how Whitney was the one who should be going back to the Ball Smashers with Whitney's tail between her legs, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't know what was going to happen. I don't mean that." I completely disagree. I mean, okay, look at last week. Whitney comes down, the Ball Smashers get pissed. Alex infers that Whitney probably feels betrayed because of the things that the Ball Smashers were saying. If Whitney is the one who feels betrayed, it is on the Ball Smashers to go to Whitney and apologize. Pull Whitney back into the fold. The Ball Smashers couldn't lose the numbers. I mean, this is before Shelby won the HOH, but they should have gone, pulled her back in, and exactly like Dustin said, made it back 4-4.
Yeah, Cam, I was thinking about this. I even tweeted this earlier. I feel like there was a little bit of disconnect between Alex and Morgan and Shelby and Whitney. And I feel like that it would be incumbent upon them, if you are a fan of the Ball Smashers, for them to just hash it out. Like, let's talk about what happened last week. Like, so you were on the block, did you make a deal with her? It's okay if you did. We know you're playing your own game, but we trust you now. We've got to stick together on this. I feel like it's better if they hash it out rather than just leave these lingering doubts, because right now it's a little awkward between them, I feel like. Don't you?
Yeah, they got to hash it out because Whitney still has a chance to win a care package, and that's the most important thing. Like, if she didn't have a care package, I would say they're probably better off trying to cut their losses. But, she's a number for them, and she has a chance to win a care package that can benefit them directly to the end game, because Alex is really in the most trouble of anyone in the Ball Smashers because she's like the head of the snake. And once she's gone, everyone else will fall on that line.
Right. Dustin, I heard earlier today, Morgan was like, I hope I get a care package just so that it's not used against me by people who want to get me out, meaning that she wants a care package so that her name is out of the hat, so that if people are considering who to vote out, they won't use that as a quality to vote against her.
It's the same principle as when you're playing Survivor and you want the immunity idol, not to play it, but to have that information, to have that power so nobody else can get it. I completely understand where she's coming from with that.
Cool. All right. So we're going to take some questions from you guys. Scott St. Pierre, our illustrious producer behind the scenes, you can't see him, but he's there, has been finding questions for us from all of the fans of the possible new members of the LFC. So we're going to take your questions. Make sure you use the hashtag RHAP. And our first question is coming up from, I know this bitch. This is Adam Bongiovanni. This bitch is also somebody else. I'm not sure I want to take this question. No, Adam's actually, he's actually in the contest. I can't remember. He's on, let's see. He's on
Alex.
Yeah, he's on Alex's team. Okay, so you're going to hear from him, I think, later, like on Monday or Tuesday of next week. So Adam has a question. He says, so if Jason wins, I assume he means the care package, the noms are looking like they'll be Danny and Whitney. Isn't this a big week for the Ball Smashers to try to reel Whitney back in? Dustin, what do you think?
I think it's exactly what we were just talking about. In this scenario, you need to have as many people as possible. And just like you said, put your crap behind you. Talk it out. I've had so many experiences in my life where you have this built-up frustration. You don't talk about anything, and then people go by the wayside. If you just say, hey, I'm sorry, we're friends. Look at them. Look at the way they interact versus the way the Misfits interact. Whitney wouldn't fit in with them on any kind of normal day. She's way more like these other guys. And the Ball Smashers, they talk very openly. They talk very real. They curse a lot. Which is no problem with me, but they have a certain way of talking, and they need to include her back in that, and they need to they really need to fix those bonds that have been broken.
Right. I feel like Michelle on Survivor last week famously said, like, the truth is what did she say? Like, the truth is something you can.
Yeah, like the truth works well in this game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
The truth works well in this game. So I feel like if they just hashed out their issues, I feel like that would help them somewhat.
Right,
Right.
because they're not
Seriously.
secrets. They're not secrets. It's
Exactly.
not like, it's just like personality issues that they're
Right. They all know that there's something up. Whitney's aware that it's a little awkward. Alex and Morgan are aware that it's a little awkward. I feel like it's incumbent upon them to make sure, just get it out, get the numbers back. Okay, so John Heddles has a question. He says, can we reverse the momentum and give the co-HOH to Whitney? Well, Liana, you were saying that it's only a 3 to 4 percentage point lead for Jason at this point. So what do you think?
Right, yeah. So the difference really isn't that great. We also vote resets tomorrow. So you have an opportunity to throw all your votes at Whitney and try and get that care package to Whitney. So no, I don't think it's too late to shift momentum.
Cam, are you on board with the possible Whitney co-HOH, or you still want to give it to Jason?
No, I support a Whitney co-HOH, to be honest with you, because Justin is safe regardless. So it doesn't really matter if Jason or Whitney wins the co-HOH.
Yeah, Dustin, I think that's the thing that's being really undersold this week is that by the mechanisms of the game, Justin will be safe, and he doesn't even really seem to know it yet. Obviously, they don't know what the care package is, but, I mean, he's shaking in his boots right now that Shelby is the current head of household, and from where I'm sitting, I don't see any way that he could possibly go up.
I see it now. Yes, I was under the impression that Justin was under earlier, because this stuff is confusing, and we have all the information. They don't have any of the information. They have speculative information.
Right.
So it would be good for him, obviously, to be safe. I'm in support of a Jason co-HOH. I want more names out there. I want to see what happens when they scramble.
Because
like worms.
I'm about to say that, but because the thing is, if Whitney wins co-HOH, it also helps Jason for next week for the care package that, because if he gets this one, then he's screwed next week. While if they save it for next week, then Jason and Justin is going to be safe for another week. So
yeah, that's what I've been tweeting. I really think that people are not realizing the fact that by giving Jason the care package, that really puts him in a bad spot. Leanna, you had something to say about that.
Yeah, well, this is just making the assumption, though, that the safety ceremonies are going to continue to exist. As far as I know, we don't know that 100% that is going to be the case.
That's true. We don't know that 100%. On the other hand, it would. I mean, first of all, it would be a departure for Big Brother to change the way they're doing things up in the middle of the season. Secondly, it would put the most fabulous players in.
Like we've never seen that before.
Get ready for a
takeover.
Well, but what they do though is they protect their own, and I don't think they want to see Justin or Alex go anywhere. Dustin, are you with me?
I don't believe in production manipulation, Brent. Are you crazy?
Oh, come on. Where's your tinfoil hat? You can't be on Team Brent if you don't have a tinfoil hat.
I believe in aliens. I don't believe in that. No,
Okay.
I don't think you can.
All right. So Edward Morris has a question. He says, how would noms go if Whitney gets the care package? So it seems like where a lot of people's heads are at right now because they don't know who's going to get the care package. If Whitney gets the care package, Cam, who do you think is good? Well, let's put it this way. We know that Alex and Morgan are going to be safe. Whitney has to make two people safe, assuming that's the way things go. Who does she choose? She chooses Justin and
Danielle.
That's interesting because earlier this week I heard Whitney, Liana, plotting with Justin that if she won HOH, she was going to nominate Danielle. Do you think her feelings have changed on that?
So she did say that when she was talking with Justin, but in her live DR, she mentioned that she feels somewhat indebted to Danny because Danielle took her off the block. So I don't know exactly where her head's at, whether or not we can trust what she's saying to Justin, because it's possible she's pulling the wool over his eyes and saying that she would rather take out Danny.
Okay, that's good. I forgot about the live DRs. Dustin, she said that she felt indebted to Danny, so maybe it was a better week for her than I thought.
Yeah, it must have been. I didn't see that coming out of this, but
okay,
things can change.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this would that'd be the best move for her to take, because if she puts up Danielle, it helps her mend the fences with the ball smashers. And
you mean if Whitney nominates Danielle?
That's right.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. All right, Puya, this is somebody else. What is this? You guys are stacking the deck against me. Puya's on somebody else's team. I know, right? I know Puya. He's a patron of Rob Has Podcast. So Puya says, if you guys could play this game, which season would you want to place yourself in, and whose place would you want to take? I see everybody all sign like they're like literally getting wet over this. So Cam, who would you like to, or what season do you want to be in? And whose place are you going to take?
I would like to be in Big Brother 6.
And who are you going to be? You're going to be the new.
I'll be the new Bo.
Oh my God! Like, really, Bo? That's who you got for me?
Yeah,
Dustin,
Bo.
help me out here.
I could tell you what mine would be. It wouldn't be that.
I want to hear it. Yeah, tell me. Who
well, I have two options right now. I think the easiest one is go with Eddie McGee, but you know.
For some, I know I'm going to get this question. Who the hell is Eddie McGee? For real.
Well, he won. Big Brother won by a landslide.
Right. He was the guy who ended up being the winner of Big Brother 1 by a popular vote. So, Liana, who do you want to be and why?
Oh my gosh, I would love the opportunity to play and probably be misted by Dan. So I'm going to pick Big Brother 10, and I think I would take Keisha's perspective or her position.
I've always said that. Oh, no, I don't want to interrupt you. It looks like you have a good thought. You're living for this.
I am. Okay, first, Rennie is amazing. So I think, oh man, if I'm in that final 5, I would want to try. I want to see if I can make it and best Memphis and Dan.
Okay, so I've always said that, Dan, people have criticized me on Survivor Sucks because I said that Dan Giesling is one of the most sexy people on the face of the earth. I just
agreed.
I know, right? So I wanted to go into Big Brother 14 and take the place of Danielle, and then Dan could totally screw me. Okay, moving on. So
wow.
Taryn Armstrong, I have no idea who he is.
Who's that guy?
Cam with the clutch correct analysis. Cam, you have a fan.
Oh, wow.
Right? Say thank you to Taryn. He's a robot. He has feelings.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate it, Taryn.
Yeah, I know, right? By the way, I just want to say this really quickly. I say this on the podcast. You guys hear that Zeke knew who I was? Zeke from Survivor? Zeke. Yes.
I've never heard that before, Brent. You haven't mentioned it at all.
He knew who I was from the show. I was so excited.
He wouldn't know Taryn, though. He's too obscure like his bands.
Well, I won't say that. Like Taryn actually, I got Taryn to go over to Zeke, and Zeke gave him a big bear hug. So it was all good. All right. So Alex Kidwell, the better other live feeder than Taryn Armstrong, says you don't think they're going to. You don't think they're cooking up a gumbo comp right now? Womp womp. So that was so in the HOH competition last night, when people went over time and they didn't win, Big Brother had this fabulous sound effect that was like womp 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 womp.
Sad trombone.
Right? It was great. Sad trombone, right? So I've always said, if Justin gets the care package that gives him Alex made sure I know this, that gives him a competition to possibly advance to the Final Four. I've always said that whatever it is, it's going to be something so easy that, otherwise, why have a care package at the end like this that's this powerful in the first place, all right? So Edmo has another question. How beneficial or not was winning HOH for Shelby, knowing that there will be a co-HOH? Cam, what do you think? Good or not for Shelby to win HOH here?
She had to win HOH here. She had no other, there was no other play for him. One of the ball smashers had to win HOH. Shelby, Alex, Morgan. One of them. You can't trust Whitney with it because, she flipped recently. So, we don't know. And we really don't know what Whitney would do if she had a choice to pick 2 people on the block.
I just want to mention something about Shelby beyond the strategic bonus of getting HOH. Her winning HOH has put a fire under her ass that I haven't seen all season, and it is amazing. Just seeing the confidence come out of her when she had a letter come in from her friend when they got the HOH room, and all the letter was talking about was just some burgers and food and what they like to do for fun. And then earlier today, she's in the HOH room all by herself saying, I had to lie about the letter, or you had to lie about the letter because you couldn't say, what I really do for a living. I'm gonna win this thing. I'm gonna kick some ass. And she throws the MF word around a lot.
Right.
But I'm seeing a fire under her butt like I haven't seen.
Leanna, I think isn't this a ramification of not only the fact that she won HOH, but how she bossed it, right?
Oh, absolutely. She crushed it. You saw that Whitney went first and maxed out. Alex got it, but had, I think, 27 minutes or something.
27 minutes, right.
And then Shelby just busts in here and in 3 minutes just does an absolutely fantastic job. And so I'm not surprised at all that this is boosting her confidence, and she's wanted to win something so bad. I do think that it overall is probably good for her. It does have the ramifications, though, that she can't play in the HOH during the double eviction. But I do think that, assuming Alex stays this week, that Alex does become the target for the other side. So Shelby might be able to get through the double eviction scot-free.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like Shelby should Cam because, like, I mean, not for nothing, but in the beginning of the season, people were talking about like Alex as a comp beast, but bitch took 27 minutes in the face morph competition, and I'm not really seeing much evidence that Alex is a comp beast. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. Like, Alex had such a high trajectory early in the season, and now, like, I feel like it's spiraling downward, you know, and she's not really playing as good as she played earlier, and she's supposed to be a gamer. That's why I was surprised she was at 27 minutes. I was like, you know, I expected Shelby to do great. I didn't expect 3 minutes.
Right.
She went
I
to
feel
law
like
school.
She's like Taryn Armstrong at this point, where she's living off her rep. You know what I mean? Like she's lost the plot. She doesn't know what she's doing, but people still think that they know something because they called something right like a year ago. Okay, Ashley Bedazzle has a question: Are potential LFC candidates on Team Brent fans of any international versions of Big Brother? So I'm just going to throw this out to all three of you. Jump in if you are. Are you a fan of any of the international versions of Big Brother, and why? Cam.
Big Brother Canada, I love it. I mean, because I love the characters. I feel like casting is always on point. The only season that I thought was okay because they had a bunch of super fans was Big Brother Canada 3. But outside of that, I loved all the other seasons, especially Big BB Can 1.
I love Big Brother Canada, but after watching BBOTT and actually and enjoying America's involvement, I might think about watching Big Brother UK, which I know has a lot more of fan involvement.
I have a confession to make. Never seen Big Brother Canada, and that's mostly because you guys know how to use computers, and I don't. I'm an old man.
I know, but I have to say, Dustin, if you've never seen Big Brother Canada before, really, it's awesome. And not only that, the host of the show, Arissa Cox,
she's amazing.
Us and comes on. She might be the best person on the face of the earth. Like, can we elect her president? Like, can we do
the wonderful thing about RHAP is that I've listened to everything about the shows. I just haven't actually watched the show, so I know everything that happened.
Right. So you'll get all the Ginger Ninja references, right? But
that's proper. Yeah.
Right. All right. So Ryan has a question. Hashtag SYTYCP. I guess that's so you think you can podcast contestants. Yeah. What is your dream final three? So of the current contestants in the house, who do you want to see in a final three? And we all kind of think that if Justin's in the final three, he's going to win. So I know if you put him there, he's going to win. But who do you want to see around him if you're a fan of Justin? And if not, who else do you think? Leanne, I'm going to throw it to you first. Who do you want to see in the final three?
First of all, I don't think that it's a given that Justin is going to win. I think especially recently he's been annoying a lot of people. Like
that's fair.
I don't know if I can say this on the show, but he said
Go for it. You're on Team Brent. Go.
Oh, okay, I'm going to say it. He said he was going to teabag Shelby. What? Going to piss people off. Him, and then the thing with the have-nots and him being able to eat. So I don't think that it's a shoo-in that he would win. As far as my pick for the final three that I would like to see, I really like Shelby. She was my preseason pick, so I'm a little biased towards her, so I would want her to be there. I don't know if I necessarily think that she should win, but I would like her to be there. And then as far as my others, I would like to see Jason there. I think that although he said a lot of mean things, his strategic game is on point, at least to a certain extent, and I would like to see him in the final three.
Okay, Dustin,
I agree. I agree. I think I would like to see Jason in the final three, just as a sympathy. Well, not sympathy, but a sympathetic.
Bitch, you get the sympathy vote. All right.
No, as a sympathetic thing, okay, I would love to see a guy that went out early make it far. I think that would be really cool to see. However he gets there. I'm on the Shelby train now. Shelby. Whoop.
I know, I am too. Cam, are you on the Shelby train? And do you think that Justin and Shelby could possibly coexist in a final three together?
Oh, it very likely could be. I mean, I personally love Shelby, but I would like an Alex final three better because Alex, Jason, and Justin, that'd be very intriguing. Like, who would win that? Like, we really don't know. Like, I think if it's Shelby, Justin, and Jason, I feel like Shelby wins in the final three, in my opinion.
But
one last point really quickly. Oh, go ahead, Dustin. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, the three you proposed are all very popular for their own different reasons according to America. So that would be very interesting.
Something that we barely discussed this podcast, and it shows, I think is a testament to how well they're underselling this secret, is that Morgan and Alex, I mean, are you guys stunned that the house kids have not figured this out yet? Dustin, are you not stunned? Are you stunned that they don't know that they're sisters?
I think they might be doing the reverse psychology of it.
All right.
The Johnny Mac style, right?
Right, exactly. If they ever even thought that there might be a chance that they were sisters, they would say, "Oh, no, they wouldn't do it this obviously," and then they, throw it back again. Reverse psychology. I don't know how they're getting away with this. This is amazing.
Especially not Jason not figuring this out. Especially considering on Halloween that Julia showed up. Liz. Liz.
Yeah. Julia was acting. Get it right, Cam.
Okay.
Julia had an acting gig. She's off
At
getting her
Hooters.
Academy Award somewhere. So Liz came to the house.
Yeah, Liz came to the house, and then he should have thought earlier, in the first week that he was suspicious on the sisters. He should have been like, oh, like, let me start, making sure that these people really aren't related to each other because they from the same state. They're have the same have W in their last name.
Right. I know.
It's so obvious.
I know.
Feel like you would be able to tell just by the way two people interact. Like, not only are they changing their look, I mean, you can tell when people know each other and they interact. I just don't get it.
I feel like they're going to be blown away when they get out of the house, Liana.
Well, the way that they interact, though, Big Brother forces people to build relationships very quickly. So I think I was more concerned that their relationship dynamic would be outed early when it would be abnormal for people to be so close. But now that you live 100% of the time with these people, from now, they're all treating each other like family. So now I'm less concerned about that, outing them at least.
All right. Well, it's been a fun hour with you guys. I want to tell you guys, for those of you who are voting out there, that voting for these three lovely people, you can vote for them. And my question is, where do you vote for them? I have to believe it's on RHAP has a website somewhere. Scott St. Pierre, can you tell me exactly where and how people can vote for the next 48 hours for one of these three lovely people to make it to next week? Do I have a question? I'm not sure if he's there. Can you, Scott St. Pierre, do you have an answer? I have no idea how people can vote. So I would like to tell them how they can possibly choose to add to my perfection. It's like the board queen where she's adding to her perfection, So I want to add to my perfection.
I feel like Brent is vamping right now, so I'm going to help him out.
I am vamping. I'm trying to figure out the answer to this question because I really don't know, and I wish I had asked him before the podcast started.
I have a good feeling that, somewhere in the description.
Okay, all right.
It's on the website.
We're just going to go with this. It's on the website. If you go directly to robhasawebsite.com, you can find the voting. I'm sure I'm sure Rob does good signage, so you'll be able to easily find it. You can vote for Cam Perry, Liana Boris, or Dustin West. I'm going to make sure that I give you guys their Twitter. Liana is at Liana Boris. That's LianaBoraas. And Cam Perry is at Cam Perry 21. Dustin West is at Dustin T. West. So make sure you get the T in there. Dustin T. West is his Twitter name. Make sure you tweet these people. Tell them if you loved them, if you hated them, shut your mouth. I don't want to hear from you. So make sure you give people, if you have some constructive criticism, that's always cool. Tell people what they can improve for next week, but make sure you get out and vote. Do not sit on your vote. Do not just assume that your favorite is going to make it. You never know what's going to happen in this election. So make sure you get out there and vote, especially if you're a millennial. And Liana, how did you enjoy your first experience here on Rob as a Podcast?
This was so much fun. I can't even imagine, not being able to do this again. But if I don't get an opportunity to come back, F y'all.
I love it. Cam, how was it on Rob as a Podcast? And did you have a good time?
Oh, absolutely loved it. I mean, I was surprised that I made it in time because I was like, oh my goodness, like my computer's having issues, like I'm not gonna make it. And then I was like, oh, I just made it just in time. So I was like, it's meant to be. I'm meant to be on this thing.
I know. I literally started the show. I was like, we have two people, and right as I said we have two people, a third one showed up. So I was like, thank God they're all here. All right, Dustin, first time on RHAP, loving it, hating it, why?
Loving it. However, the 3 energy drinks that I had beforehand are blurring my vision and my memory, and I don't remember what just happened. So please tell me what happened.
I think what happened is you all did a great job. Honestly, I have to tell you guys, I watched your audition videos initially, okay? I was impressed with some people, not so impressed with others. I'm not going to say who or what. Everybody does. I wasn't even really impressed with my audition video when I sent it into Rob in the first place. But then I listened to your second videos that you put up on the website, and now I've listened to all 3 of you interact with me now. You guys are awesome. All 3 of you really did a great job. Like, there was no dead air. Everything was really wonderful. So make sure you get out and vote for these people. We always appreciate you listening to Rob as a Podcast. Make sure you go to robhasawebsite.com to vote, and we'll see y'all again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.